Okay, sorry about the rude kind of stop for that last video. I thought I had these exemplars on my blackboard, but I obviously didn't, so I had to go and find them. Okay, so here is the example of a year plan, and this is going to be what I want you to do for assignment 1. Okay, so basically, excuse me, you're going to, it's language arts, year plan, put your grade, what grade you are, grade 4 here. So, and then I just wrote in green, this is an exemplar of grade 4 outcomes 1.1 and 1.2 only. You need to fill in all the bulleted outcomes from 1.1 to 5.2 for your assignment. Okay, so just because it's not all filled in doesn't mean this is all you have to fill in. Okay, so let's look at what this actually looks like. Sorry, I'm going to be part of the year plan here. So basically, hopefully you're starting to recognize here are the general outcome 1. Students will listen, speak, read, write, view, and represent to explore thoughts, ideas, feelings, and experiences. Oh, you probably can't even see that anyways. Okay, so then I have the general outcome in the subheading, discover and explore, and then I have all of the bullet points. Okay, so the key thing here is I want you to, instead of putting bullet points, I want you to put letters. So A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so these letters are not in, these are not in the program of studies, but you'll see why it will help you later when we do the unit and the lesson planning. So put in those letter numbers instead of just the bullet points. Okay, so here we go. So I want you to think about what kind of daily work you could do in a grade 4 class. So it might be calendar time, it might be sharing time, it might be dear time, drop everything and read time. So those are kind of those things that you do on a daily basis to support your language and literacy. Okay, so it's not necessarily a program. So you can also do program work, which is actually like almost like a kit. It's like a pre-made resource that you follow fairly closely, but you don't have to follow it, absolutely rigorously. So things like Daily 5, if you've looked at literacy plays, if you have something like Reading Buddies, which is actually fairly formal and that you do a fair number of times throughout the year. Okay, so that's what I mean. Difference between daily work and program work. You also might have, then I want you to think about 5 units. And the units, you could have a specific ELA unit, like 3 units in a row, and then an integrated unit. You could start with an integrated unit. You could do both your integrated units at the end. It doesn't have to be in this order. I would like you for the assignment to do 5 ELA specific units and then 2 integrated units in here. So for my grade 4s, I'm going to do fractured fairy tales, where they look at fairy tales from different perspectives and then they change the endings and things like that. I'm going to do a little writing competition where we actually send in our writing into a competition in November. I'm going to do a podcast where we actually create and perform. Then I'm going to do Alberta Amazing Race, where they have to, so that's an integrated with social studies, where they have to, cruise around Alberta in an amazing race kind of way. Then we're going to do a little readers theater, performance and creation. And then we're going to have a poetry unit. Sorry, I'm going to get out of the way here. Here. And then an integrated unit, we're going to do Settling Alberta with a Medalta Community Classroom. Okay, so that's my year. That's my year for grade 4 ELA. For me, once I have that sort of rough framework, I just go, oh, okay, because now I know where I can hang my hat, right? You can see that assessment is grade in. Again, we want you to know that at some point you do have to think about assessment for these units, but not right now. We want you to focus on the actual just putting the objectives and the units and the units together. Okay, so here I talked about this. You actually have the dates. So for this, you can say ongoing because it's going to be ongoing throughout the whole year. And then from Fractured Fairy Tales, I'm going to do from September 4th to 29th, and that's actually 19 instructional days. Okay, October 2nd to 26th gives me 25 instructional days, and so on and so forth, all the way to the end of the year. I like to do this in chronological order, or else, like if it bounces around, like if you did all of your units here, and then you put this integrated unit over here, but then it was out of chronological order. In my mind, it doesn't make sense. I want to be able to say, okay, this is how I'm doing my year. This is what it'll look like. Okay, so now this is the fun part. This is what you get to do. It's kind of like multiple choice test, where you have to pick the best objective, the best answer to fit the unit. Because what'll happen is if you get to the end of all of the objectives, all 90 or 94 objectives that you have for your grade, and you have 57 in one unit that is only 20 days, you can't actually fulfill those objectives. There's just not enough time. So I have all sorts of limits on how many objectives I want you to have for each unit, and it's all on assignment 1. So have a look there for the specific numbers. So here we go. So this is my 1.1 letter A objective. Compare new ideas, information, and experiences to prior knowledge and experiences. So I think that my program work, my podcast, and my Settling Alberta Medalta Community Classroom are the best units to fulfill this one objective. Could all of these, could daily work, could Fractured Fairy Tales, could writing competition? Probably, but I want to pick the best units because then that will fulfill those objectives in the most authentic and rich and meaningful way. If you feel like you're shoving the objective into the unit, then find a different unit because that's what it will feel like to the kids too. Okay, so then you just basically go through and go, okay, ask questions, paraphrase and discuss to explore ideas and understand new concepts. What do I think is going to be the best unit? Daily work here, Alberta Amazing Race. Boom. And you just work through. And if you get to the end of your document and you've gone through all general outcomes, all 5 of them, and you have too many, then you have to go back and negotiate. So that's all you have to do at this point. This is your year plan, because once you have this, all of your unit plan objectives and all your lesson plan objectives come from here. That's the beauty of the year plan, is when you're in the throes of craziness teaching your class, you know that you have all of your outcomes laid out in all of your units, and then you pull those for your daily lesson plans. So it's pretty glorious. And that's why I think I really love year plans. Okay, so you don't have to write out how you're going to do this. That will come in your unit and lesson planning. You just have to tell me that you understand that Fractured Fairy Tales, bad example, that writing competition will fulfill hair personal responses. Wow. Have personal responses, not hair. That could be fun. So that the writing competition is the best one to fulfill that particular objective. Okay, so then you just go through all of these. You do at the bottom, please do write in your references. These do not have to be in APA format, but do document the following. So put Alberta Government, Learn Alberta Program of Studies, and then English Language Arts, and then put the website. At this point, you're switching into these references being very, very practical so that you can actually go back immediately to the document. Okay. When formatting social studies, science, or math curricular outcomes for your integrated subjects, please write it out in the following manner. And I have a few more added in on the assignment 1. So have a look at assignment 1. I've added in music and art and phys ed. So if you want to add in those. But right now, each of the program of studies, like social studies, math, ELA, are all formatted differently, which is kind of makes it crazy right now for you guys. That's what the government is trying to do, is unify, which is actually a really good idea. But we don't have that yet, and so each of them looks a little bit different. So for formatting, don't get bogged down in, I've got a number out of order. Again, think about, this is for you so that you can, if you need to reference back to that document, you can actually find the objective without spending oodles and oodles of time mired in the pages and pages of the program of studies. Okay, I'm going to just get rid of this for a sec, and I'm going to go to, this is what the year plan template looks like. I'm just going to swing it over here a little bit so I'm not, and I'll just swing this over here. Super fun. Okay, hang on. Oh, sorry, you really techie people. You're probably dying right now. Okay, so, excuse me. This is the template. So here, daily work, program work, here are your units. Please feel free to move those units around. If you want to start with an integrated unit, you can, and then you can move this around. Again, assessment is grade in, know it's coming, but you don't have to do it yet. So your job is, you're going to write in all of those, just add in lines if you need more lines, but I've written out all the general outcomes and then all the subheadings. So hopefully that will keep you straight here. Okay. And it goes all the way down to there. I also just put in here, don't forget, if you're for those integrated subjects, math, science, social, and you can, if you don't use those, just delete them. And then the references. Now, I could give you this document with all of the objectives filled in. And I actually considered that, but I think in the actual looking at the document and putting them in this document, it just gives you that chance to really see what's in there and to really kind of start to get your teeth around it, because this is what you're going to be living and breathing as a teacher, are these programs of study. So that's why I didn't give you all those. You just copy paste, put them in there, put the letters in, and then start to line them up. Okay, I think hopefully this little look at the particular template and an exemplar, along with assignment 1 video, I think you should have a pretty good idea for that first assignment. I, of course, will go over this more in class and answer any questions. All right. Hope you love your plans as much as I do.